everybody, welcome to another Nephilim build. It's Pride Month and we're celebrating by making various LGBTQIA+ characters in media, because fuck the entire right wing. Today we're gonna chill out as Bobby Drake from the X-Men. As always, keep in mind that these videos are about capturing the spirit of the character rather than capturing their abilities perfectly. With that said, let's address the obvious. Now, Bobby's been confirmed gay for a while now and is even married to a man. He's also slept with a lot of women to the point where he could be called... how did Omar Holman put it? Oh right, community dick. Now you'd think all of that would count for something, right? So here's the thing, it's actually pretty common for closeted gay people, particularly gay men, to sleep around with members of the opposite sex. This is usually because they're in denial about their sexuality and are trying to force attraction, or do it because they think that's what straight men are supposed to do. As a side note, this very often leads to misogyny as these closeted gay men grow to resent the women they believe society is forcing them to be in relationships with. And yes, I am in fact implying that Tate, Fuentes, and their ilk are having tea with Mr. Tumnus. And before anyone says it, no, erection and even ejaculation don't mean enjoyment. If you have one, you know it don't care, and we've all had to power through to the end when we weren't feeling it at some point. Anyway, back to Bobby. You, like Omar, might be wondering why he settled down after coming out instead of making up for lost time. Again, some queer people, particularly gay men, sleep around while they're in the closet because they think they're supposed to. Once they come to terms with themselves, that pressure is gone. It's very common for such people to want something long-term and stable rather than more casual sex. Not that there's anything wrong with casual sex, it's just not for everyone. Now with all that said, let's start with ability scores. Using the standard point array with the 15 to charisma, you've got to be really charming to seduce someone you're not attracted to. It's why incels struggle so much. After that, we'll put the 14 to constitution. Ice is harder to break than you think, which is why I struggle so much. We'll put the 13 to dexterity and the 12 into strength. Everyone in comic books is an athlete. We'll put the 10 to intelligence and dump wisdom. He's been duped a few times, look up what happened between him and Mystique, and it took an Omega level telepath reading his mind to figure out he was gay. For species, mutants still aren't humans and we still don't have variant human or custom lineage. I thought about water genasi since Iceman apparently has water powers, but that gives acid splash and acid resistance, which is normally associated with earth and... god damn it, do I need to bring up the elements thing again? But no, we're instead going to go with Winter Eladrin. We get dark vision of 60 feet, Fey ancestry, trance, perception, and face step. Turns out he can teleport. Sorta. He can apparently send his consciousness through moisture molecules and reform his body somewhere else. So, yeah, teleportation. We'll make a custom background, bring our increases into charisma and dexterity. We'll also pick athletics and acrobatics for skills, painter supplies for giggles, and the mark of warding. This will give us alarm and mage armor, but also add spells to the list of spells we can choose from. To be clear, we do not automatically have these spells prepared, which is good for me because I only want one of them. Moving on to class, we're going to go with Sorcerer. We get Charisma and Constitution saving throws and be proficient with Deception, Persuasion, and Simple Weapons. At level 1, we get Innate Sorcery and 4 cantrips. We'll take Blade Ward to fill the slot, Elementalism and Prestidigitation for effects, and Sorcerer's Burst. We'll get Ray of Frost from something else, but this is honestly probably the best attack cantrip in the game right now. We'll also get 2 spells taking Ice Knife as well as Armor of Agathes from our mark. Who even is Agathes, and why do only warlocks get this spell naturally? And for that matter, who's Hadar? At level 2, we get Font of Magic and Meta Magic, taking Empowered Spell and Transmuted Spell. We'll also take Shield to block and Featherfall because what is fall damage? At level 3, we get our Sorcerer's Origin, taking Draconic Bloodline. It's the only option for an elemental build, and his last name is literally Drake. We get Draconic Resilience as well as Chromatic Orb, Command, Alter Self, and Dragon's Breath. Obvious damage from Orb and Breath, but with how Alter Self works now, we've got viable melee with Ice Fists. As for Command, come on, we all know he's a top. We'll also take Scorching Ray, Make It Cold, as well as Levitate. He can apparently, and I'm quoting the wiki, control, manipulate, or move objects and persons after hitting them with ice. Otherwise, use this on yourself. At level 4, we'll take the Coldcaster feat, rounding Charisma. We'll also take Frostbite and Enhance ability for super mutant feats. At level 5, we'll get Sorcerer's Restoration as well as Fear and Fly. Bobby's thing with the ice ramps isn't flying, but it's as close as we'll get. We'll also take Fireball and Lightning Bolt to turn both to cold. At level 6, we'll get Elemental Affinity Cold and take Sleet Storm. At level 7, we'll get Sorcery Incarnate and get Arcane Eye and Charm Monster from our origin, ignore both. We'll also take Fire Shield for the Agatha's Flaming Armor combo. Cold option, obviously. Although if you ever do this combo with the fire option, you are comedically obligated to call it Agatha's Icy Hot. At level 8, we'll take the Elemental Adept Cold Feet, bumping Charisma, and take Ice Storm. At level 9, we'll get Legend Lore and Summon Dragon, ignore both. Although he can apparently make ice clones of himself, so maybe a dragon isn't out of the question. We'll also take Cone of Cold and Sungal's Elemental Suffusion. At level 10, we'll take Quickened and Seeking Spell, Friends to fill the slot, and Arcane Vigor for self-healing. At level 11, we'll take Elminster's Effulgent Spheres. We now have 3, count them, 3 continuous spells that don't require concentration. At level 12, we'll take the Tough Feet, and level 13, we'll take Odalik's Freezing Sphere. At level 14, we'll get Dragon's Wings, and at level 15, we'll take Incendiary Cloud to make it cold. We need more high-level spells with different damage types. I'm working on a Sasuke build, but I still can't figure out what to do for Kirin. Foreshadowing. At level 16, we'll raise our Constitution, and at level 17, we'll take Extended and Careful Spell. We'll also take Meteor Swarm, make it cold. At level 18, we'll get Dragon Companion. Again, he probably could do this. Plus, that's a 4th spell we don't need to concentrate on, even if it's just once. We'll also take Symbol Sunasa Dwemer. Is that a 5th concentration free spell I see? It's a stretch, but this could easily be another filler spell. At level 19, we'll take the Boon of Spell Recall, capping Charisma, and take Wall of Fire, make it cold. Side note, why the hell are wizards the only class that get Wall of Ice? Some of these spell-less decisions are just stupid. Lastly, at level 20, we get Arcane Apotheosis and take Firestorm, make it cold. Now that we're level 20, we finally have our modifiers. Our AC with Draconic Resilience is 17, our move speed is 30, and our average HP is 202 with 20 d6 hit dice. And with that, we are done. Now what can this build do? To start, our ice attacks are hitting hard, ignoring resistance, re-rolling ones, adding our charisma, and subtracting from saving throws. We're also incredibly tanky for a mage with martial levels of AC and HP and massive retaliatory damage. We've also got a metric ton of buffs we apply all at once, with quickening to keep firing off with cantrips. And with Arcane Apotheosis, that quickening is free. For weaknesses, getting all of our buffs up will take us anywhere from 5 to 6 turns. And if combat is lasting that long, you're in trouble. We're also incredibly resource dependent, considering our biggest guns require transmuting, and all of our AoEs means we'll be casting carefully a lot. And Wisdom is of course still a bad stat to dump. Weaknesses aside, we're one cool customer. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description. Patrons get 2-day early access to my videos, access to any exclusive content, and access to my Discord. All tiers are equal, pay as much as you want. Let me know what you thought of this video down in the comments, and I'll see you all next time when I make Wispangle from Sonic the Hedgehog.